It's a beautiful day to talk to you all about a very important conversation that has been on my mind. It's something that people talk about in whispers, but it needs to be talked about more. This is a conversation that I've seen a fair share of corporate workers experience because it involves corporate workers, leaders of companies and organizations, and just everyone needs to be aware of this. The purpose for this conversation is 1, for awareness, and 2, for solutions. Let's get right into it. What exactly is the conversation here? Commuting dangers in the corporate world. The rise of insecurity for a corporate worker, a 9-to-5er, when commuting to their offices. How safe are corporate workers right now? It's a global thing. I know the entire world, have their fair share of experience and situation, but I'm specific to Nigeria, where we are, our geographical space, especially Lagos, really. Commuting dangers are at all-time high right now. I've had my fair share of experience, and I know a few persons who recently came up to me and shared their experience, and it's always heartbreaking to know. To even have it happen to you is a whole different level. It changes your mindset. It changes a lot about how you view sometimes your work. It could even affect you mentally, depending on how you're able to handle the after effect of it. This is why it's so crucial that this conversation is being spoken about. Are corporate workers really safe commuting to offices? In Lagos, for instance, we see a huge rise in some situations. We call it one chance. It's always been in existence, but right now we've got corporate workers as victims any other day. I'm gonna start by sharing my own experience. Let's take it back to sometime last year. I love to have my own time before I start work. I'm one of those people that will be at work like 1 hour before time and leave like right on the clock. So one of these days I wake up early per usual and I am preparing for work. This is sometime in July last year, right? No, this is sometime in September last year. So I'm preparing for work, and this is about 5:30 a.m. I'm all set, ready, getting myself together. For some reason, this particular day, it was kind of in my mind to say a prayer, so I did say my prayer. So this was quite intense. Well, thank God for this. Anyway, pick up my bag and I'm off. So now this is about 5:40 to 5:50-ish, right? So I'm walking to my bus stop and I'm trying to look around for a car, a bus to take me to my office location. And then I see a Sienna. I walk towards them and they're moving towards me and I'm like, oh, are you going to the island? And they're like, yeah, okay. How much? They tell me the price and I enter. This should be like around 6 a.m. now. And so just as I entered, somebody else was gonna come in because they were like, oh, close the door. And I'm like, oh, there's somebody that wants to join the car. When they slowed down for the person to come in, like it was a guy, right? I noticed the guy thought they were gonna leave him or they were not interested in picking him, so he left. So I just thought, oh, okay, fine. He's not coming anymore. And then I shut the door. Now we're moving and we got to the next bus stop. So they start acting like they're picking up people. And then after that, they didn't pick up anyone because nobody really came to enter the car. And I was still in my headset, trying to do 1 or 2. And I was joining some prayers in there. Thereafter, they leave these bus stop they were in, headed to the express. And just all of a sudden, I just heard someone say, oh yeah. Yeah, my Nigerian folks, we know this. Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. Because I had one ear off so I could hear whatever that was happening in the background. And I was like, okay. Next instant, I just felt someone hold my neck from the back. Honestly, guys, in my mind, I thought, whoever that is, don't you think that you're holding my neck? Like, did you forget to hold a chair? Because I actually thought someone wanted to highlight and they were just trying to move out and then they were gonna hold a chair and then they forgot that they needed to hold a chair and they were holding my neck. So I'm like, guy, what's up? So I'm just like in my, guy, what's up? And next thing, I just got like a huge slap on my face. Whew, I saw stars, my lord. Next thing I know, I'm on the floor because they're like, lie down, give me everything you have. They're hitting me left, right, and center of my face, and I'm just utterly scared. I know that it's only by God's grace that I was able to escape that event, because it was scary as hell. I'm not even kidding. They took everything I had. They threatened to take me to some ritualist kind of environment, take me out of Lagos. They threatened to rape me, and there were just a lot of these very scary moments, you know, and they kept hitting my leg, asking me to the money. Of course, there were the situation where they couldn't get all the money I had in my account. They threatened for me to call someone to give them a ransom and all this stuff. All this time we're actually driving around some route in Lagos, right? The only thing in my head really was just prayer. I was praying fervently. One of the prayers we pray in church and on the platform that I joined, it was just in my head, because all I thought was, God, if this is it, I'm done. Eventually, they got confused for whatever reason, and they decided to drop me. They took my laptop and my phones and everything. They gave me my bag, and I left. And they dropped me at Airport Road. They had to apply like rub in my eyes. I didn't know why at the time, but it was after the people said, oh yeah, they did that so that you don't, you know, get to see their plate number and all this stuff. This is a very scary experience, because a lot of people have had this experience, and not everyone have been lucky enough or blessed enough to survive it. I mean, let's talk about incidents sometime that happened in Abuja, where a worker was actually kidnapped. She entered a wrong car, or a one chance bus as we call it over here, and they just found her body dead. So this is not even a joke. Recently, a friend shared with me her experience as well, and she had to resign from work because she didn't feel like she was paid attention to, or there were actually any assurance for safety for her commuting. You can go to the comment section to share your experience if you've had such. But it's important, guys, for everyone to be aware that the security is not as tight as you may think it is. If you're a 9-to-5 worker, if you're a corporate worker, you need to be aware of this. That is why we're having this conversation, so that people who are in charge can actually do better. I tell you that after that experience I had, I didn't think the law enforcement agencies actually did enough, because we reported the case to the police, and what could we really get? They never found them. But you can't tell me that we're not aware of these designated locations where these corporate actually function at the time. I don't know, it just blows my mind. So guys, let's talk about business owners, let's talk about companies, let's talk about government officials. You need to be aware of the situation, and we need to do something. Here are some solutions I can prefer to you. For corporate workers, you need to be aware of your time. If your office location is far apart in distance, and even if it's really close, it can happen to anybody at any time, any place, right? So you need to be aware of the timing. It's safer to leave your house when it's a little bit brighter and it's not that dark. Two, you need to be observant of the kind of car, bus, or public transport you're entering into. If you notice some odd movement, if you feel like they're all a certain kind of gender, or you feel there's just this attitude of perhaps maybe endearing you more than normal to enter the car or the bus, you need to be alert, okay? It's safer to do that than to be sorry later. And now for business owners, we need to invest a lot in, for me, my solution was shuttlers. I've been a secret ambassador since then, talking to people about it and making sure that everyone I knew that was a 9-to-5 worker, or you own a business, or you didn't have a car to commute yourself, was aware of the option of joining shuttlers, because it's safer. Now, shuttlers have partnership deals that they can actually align with companies to take their staff. So business owners, leaders of companies, please get into this life-saving solution and make partnerships like this, so that at least your staff members that work far away from you and they need to be in the office physically can commute safely. Aside from the whole kidnapping situation, there's still the dangers of traffic, robbery, road accidents, and this is the part where government needs to come in. We need to make sure that our roads are safe. Most times we see officials stop private cars and all that, but we end up seeing public cars like trucks, like buses, applying these high roads in the most dangerous way, driving recklessly on the road. government officials, local government, governors, you need to be on deck. You need to make them accountable to apply the rules, because we are in danger of these things. And so please, let's be aware of commuting dangers. I hope this has been a very interesting, insightful, educative conversation. Remember, our goal is really to make sure that our businesses thrive and we as individuals have better careers and we're just better human beings in general. Bye-bye.